Survivors, if you did not already know, there is now a hidden immunity idol out in the wild of this game. If you haven't started looking, the clues are public, and the hidden immunity idol will give you significant advantage in the form of one free opportunity to nullify all votes against you during a tribal council session. No surprises here tonight with this week's immunity challenge. Each tribe will compete in a Pro League style best of 5 1 vs 1 series where each player must play at least once. If a 2-2 tie is reached at the end of the initial matches, each team will then select any player from their tribe to compete in a sudden death ace match. Tafarkrats, you must choose one player initially to go twice tonight. Who will it be?
Oh, we get to choose? I thought they, Oh.
Kaitlyn.
I thought the winner gets to choose all the matchups, so I thought if they won... Oh.
Winners choose the matchup, not the player. We pick.
Who even won, though?
Alright, Kaitlyn's captain, I guess, so...
So who will it be? Kaitlyn's gonna play twice? So, before we reveal the winner of the reward challenge, Suppy, how well do you think your tribe ended up, considering the fact that you were down a player in Haunted Forest?
We got a pretty solid time for how many boxes we got. Unfortunately, we just couldn't find the last one. We passed by it like 3 or 4 times. So I think, you know, me and MaSsan have a lot of experience with Haunted Forest, so I thought we had a really good strategy. We drew a map and everything, but having one less person definitely is a huge disadvantage. So I definitely think it's possible that the other team was able to find all the crates.
Alright. So Captain Tubby, do you believe your tribe did enough to pull off the victory?
For sure. Like, as me as a captain, we can never lose anymore. I've gone full tryhard.
Alright. Well, the tribe who will pick the initial matchups for the immunity challenge with a total of 18 crates and a final time of 7 minutes and 1 second. League of Friendship.
Yay!
What? 7 minutes, 1 second?
Whoop, whoop.
Well, the other time for Tafarkrats, 18 crates, 7 minutes, and 8 seconds. So very close matchup.
Yo,
League
get
of Friendship
destroyed.
just barely edging it out.
Wow.
You guys will win the reward, and you'll have the opportunity to pick the initial matchups for tonight's challenge. Kaitlyn's going to go twice. League of Friendship. We'll give you a few moments to decide the matchups, and we'll jump into the games from there.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hi, hello, and howdy. Welcome to the Week 4 Immunity Challenge. Now, the first matchup of the day is going to be Tempo versus Suppy. Kind of a smart strategical move. Burn a really good player against a not-so-good player. We'll see how this pans out. Spotted here in the lower right corner of the map, playing for Evil Geniuses, but also Reformed Tafarkrats. It's the Red Zerg Suppy.
His opponent in the upper left-hand corner of the map, Belshir Vestige from Infinity 7, and on the League of Friendship, it is Tempo.
Now, let's not forget, Doom, it's the Reformed League of Friendship. Despite the fact that Tempo was on, he's the founding member of the League of Friendship. We did have that team swap last week, so nothing is really what it once was.
That is completely true in this game, and, you know, who'd have thunk it going into it that Tempo would get the opportunity to play Suppy in a Pro League style 1 vs 1 match, and how's he going to take advantage of this Rifkin? He's going to go for a 10 pull. You know, right off the bat.
I really like this choice for 2 different reasons. One, I think Tempo knows, mechanically speaking, can't keep up with Suppy when it comes to the macro game. This is like top 5 NA guy versus Tempo, who is, I guess, honorably low masters, as we decided in the Survivor event. Suppy, however, the second reason I like this choice, if this is just a 10 pool, I think Tempo's going to lose. If this is a 10 pool with Banelings, there's that small chance, that gamble that it will work.
That's true. I've seen, players like Idra fall to some pretty cheesy stuff that can go down out of these, ZVZ situations that emerge in the very early stages of the game. But going for hatch first here, Suppy, this is going to be a tough spot to hold.
Well, this is not recording because the really big part of this is because if you've ever watched Suppy stream, guys, he almost always goes hatch first. And the 10 pool with Banelings, really strong against this. But it's just going to be a regular 10 pool. So tempo, I don't know, Doom. Like, if this had gas and Banelings attached, I think this would go swimmingly for our teal Zerg player. But just as is, if Suppy drone stacks, if he gets that queen out ASAP, I think he'll be okay to hold on to this. In fact, he should be okay to hold on to this.
I think you just got to go for that Hail Mary pass here, and that's what Tempo's doing. You know, Suppy's being pretty conscious of what's going on in the field. He's looking for spine crawlers at the edge of his creep, in the event that Tempo was going for something super cheesy, but it's been scouted out by the Overlord. I think Suppy already knows what's coming out.
He saw the links coming out, and right now he's got this hatchery coming up. We'll see if he goes for the cancel. Again, some players, they like to leave it up. They want to get that extra larva production from behind, and basically buy time. And Tempo looks like he's going to take the bait, go for the hatchery. Really, the advantage of the early pull is try to pick off some drones, even out the worker count, and segue yourself forward with your own hatchery, but I don't know, Doom. He's going to pick up an Overlord, too, with his queen. A bold move here out of Tempo, but
hey, man, everything's going Tempo's way at this point in the game here. Suppy's actually pulled all of his drones from the main.
This is a really risky move. I mean, the drones can hold this. The drones, microed correctly, can take on this amount of links, but he's going to lose a lot of them. Is microing back some of the low ones. Got his own links now coming out.
Two queens just about to pop here for Suppy, but not in time yet.
And Tempo's just getting massacred by the combination of links and drones right now.
All right.
It is
looking at the
well, I was going to say, it is 16 to 15 workers, so, he didn't really kill much, but Suppy, he's forced to make a lot of lings. If Tempo can hold this, he's kind of in that same situation where, hey, he's not that far behind. But that's a darn big if.
It's true. He got one, though. He got one. That's what's important here. But,
it's 18 workers to 15, he got one. You're right, totally justified.
And I think Tempo is going to follow this up with, something that's going to be gas intensive. Obviously, that's indicative because he's got 3 workers inside of his in-base extractor right now. And I'm curious to see if it's going to be banelings, roaches, could be something.
Yeah, the big thing for Tempo, a lot of people count him out because he's a low masters, high diamond, diagonal, sideways, whatever you want to refer to it as. But he's a player who's definitely not at the same caliber as Suppy. In fact, a lot of people in this Survivor event aren't at the same caliber as Suppy. And this is that danger zone. Hey, it's not even the late game, it's the mid game. And if your opponent is someone like Suppy, who's got years of Zerg practice at a Grandmaster level, realistically, Tempo's got to be sweating just a little bit. Just a little bit.
At least we're not seeing any hidden bases like Puck did to him earlier in the GSDL style format here. But it is Pro League, so it's just a best of one. This only counts for 1 point in the series. Suppy isn't going to move on beyond this and have to take on 2 players. But since that stipulation occurred in last week's challenge, he'll have 1 more game available to him. So this is really important for Suppy to win. And we do see that Banelings Nest here coming down for Tempo, while Suppy is going to opt for Lair Tech.
An interesting
and
choice.
2 additional gases, too.
Well, I was going to say, if he had 4 Bermudas, but with a very fast layer, I think he's going to look to end this game with roaches, if anything. But there's no evolution chamber. There's no roach warren down. I'm not sure what the goal of Suppy is with these extra gases, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Tempo's getting his Baneling Nest up. He's got a lot of lings on the field, and I guess if he floods, there's the chance that Suppy could get caught going for tech.
Sure. 16 lings on the way here from Tempo. There was no follow-up from Suppy, which was the peculiar situation there. He didn't even try to poke up into Tempo's base. Looking at his vision, he's only really seen the fact that the hatchery went down early stage of the game. Now he sees with the Overlords that, link speed is kicking in for Tempo, and he's moving across the field with a lot of units.
Yeah, and right now Suppy's making a lot more lings to come up behind this, but unfortunately the Spinecrawler's prepared, ready for Banelings.
Oh, man.
Tempo is very boldly morphing them in right in front of the Spinecrawler.
Well, Suppy's forced to engage here, and look at the unit counting station. Only 17 links currently on the field from 28 for Tempo at this point, and Suppy really is doing a good job here.
Tempo's got the Banelings now, though. Suppy surrounds a Baneling, I guess. Hey, it works. Snipes the other drones, getting stacked on top of the other Doom.
What?
Maybe Suppy's trying to play with one hand right now. I don't know. The APM's actually pretty
high.
high.
Webcams to be viewed.
I don't know. Both, he's got like 300 APM right now, so he's definitely not playing with one hand.
He's going for Mutatech.
Yeah, he's making a lot of really sloppy mistakes, though. He's at double the worker count. Tempo's got to cause damage. This is that all-in scary situation. Drones are being pulled. A couple Baileys do get hits off. A lot of workers go down in that initial hits. And Suppy's trying to make sure those Baileys do not get into the main.
This is going to get cleaned up here temporarily, but even if that Spire finishes, the resources here for Suppy still looking somewhat low, and especially considering how many drones he lost in that engagement. Well, actually, speaking of the devil, he's got more drones than Tempo right now, Riff, and he looks like he's okay.
He's got, in fact, the reverse number of drones than Tempo does, 32 to 23, but I want to point out, despite the fact that massive workers are lost, lots of Baileys and Zerglings are traded, it's still fairly relatively even resources lost, which boggles my mind. But Doom, I just can't. Suppy's got so many lings. This is that part where you're like, oh Tempo, we saw this coming. We apologize for pitting you against Suppy, but I'm sure his team was really glad to burn Suppy against someone like Tempo and give Puck a better chance to succeed.
Sure.
Oh my god, Suppy just throwing the Zerglings away? Just donating to those Banelings? That was pretty much every ling on the field. And I guess recognizing his mistake, gonna go for the GG. So Tempo, Diamond player Tempo, gonna take out Evil Genius of Suppy in game 1. I'm not sure if I'm impressed with Tempo or disappointed in Suppy, Doom.
Rifkin, you know, they don't let baseball players in the Hall of Fame for this type of
All right,
play.
welcome back to Game 2 in Week 4's Immunity Challenge for StarCraft 2 Survivors. For those who maybe you skipped to this game and missed the others, first off, it's a best of 5 between teams Reformed League of Friendship and the Reformed Tefarkrats. Now, Tempo managed to take out Suppy in Game 1. It was an unbelievable game, but for, I guess, different interpretive reasons. Spawny here in the top left corner of the map, playing for Root, it's the Red Protoss player, Puck.
His opponent, from Quantic Gaming and Reformed Tefarkrats, it is the Blue Zerg, MaSsan.
And you know, Doom, I just put 2 and 2 together. All 3 of the players on the Reformed League of Friendship, on Reformed Tefarkrats rather, are all Zerg. You got Suppy, MaSsan, and Kaitlyn.
Yeah, that's an interesting combo. Definitely back in Wings Liberty would have considered completely OP, but I think now, you know, Protoss has taken that.
Well, I was gonna say, I think the diversity on the other team, they may not have any Zergs. Actually, Tempo is Zerg, my mistake. But you got Puck, who's a Protoss player, TubbyTheFat, who's a Protoss player, and Brent, who's a Terran player. And I think if more of these matches pop up, that diversity will play heavily in the favor of that team.
Absolutely, and I mistakenly said last game that Suppy had 2 opportunities to play in this series. It's actually Kaitlyn who is going to be playing 2 games for her team in this series. So a lot of pressure going to be on Kaitlyn moving these later matches now that Suppy has indeed dropped a game to Tempo. So that kind of pressure being on you in this situation, you know, thinking of being in MaSsan's shoes right now, it's a little horrifying because he's taking on a Puck, but he's handling it pretty boldly now going for this early spawning pool.
Yeah, MaSsan does tend to go pool first on most maps. You watch him stream, you watch him in actual casts of games. 9 times out of 10, you'll see him go pool first. One thing that I want to point out as well that I think is extremely interesting, you know, for those who didn't catch up, the reward challenge, what the League of Friendship won from the reward challenge was they got to set the matches. They got to pick who played against who, or whom, I don't know grammar, but either way, TubbyTheFat set the lineup, and he chose, look, game 1's going to be Tempo versus Suppy, and I think that's a really smart choice on his part. He wanted to burn he wanted to burn Suppy with a player that he knew was likely not going to beat him in the first place. Talk about a surprise, a very nice gift that was handed to him, as these players have a huge league up in this best of 5.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know that's a huge factor to consider moving forward from this position. Like, being that Tubby's a pretty strategical person in and of himself here, having these to play further into his cards. I mean, think about Tribal Council, Rifkin. You're going home. You have a 1 in 3 chance of going home if you go to Tribal Council tonight. I don't know what Suppy was thinking last game, but
it's 1 in 4, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
League of Friendship is 1 in 4. You're correct with the 1 in 3 for Tefarkrats.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Tribal Council is the last place you want to be in the game, and you know this is it. This is really much putting every single stake that these players have into these games. This is no joke.
Well, you know, last game I think I would have classified as a bit of a joke, but this game has got 2 Titan Monolith North American top Grandmasters, and I really like the way Puck opened this game. Like, a Forge Expand on a map like Belshire, if you've got your eyes set on that mid to late game, definitely the way to do it. A lot of Protoss players nowadays, whether you're Puck or whether you're some random Diamond player, whoever you are, when they go for the Gateway Expand, I feel like it's wasted more often than not.
Yeah, you know, if you don't get that Zealot over with that early Mothership Core and perhaps following it up with the Stalker, then it's really tough to put on pressure and transition out of that situation. I mistakenly thought MaSsan had gone for some sort of 10-pull situation. I must have tempo on the brain or something, but, you know, he's actually doing a pretty crazy 3 hatchery build. I wouldn't call it crazy, but it's relatively standard. Yeah, responsible and responsive. All those R words just thrown out there.
You sound like a parent describing their child playing Star. Oh, he's a very responsible Zerg player. He takes care of his units. He makes sure to do injects. He's never late.
It's a responsible build. He saw the expansion going down. He's gonna, as you said, respond appropriately from there. So I love MaSsan's thinking, man. Smart guy.
Yeah, he's playing this without gas though. Is a little bit worrisome for me. He's just now getting those gases down, so he's not gonna be able to respond with anything for a little bit if Puck decides to push out. But as we all know, when you go over the Forge Expand, chances are you don't push out too early. But he is getting those +1 weapons, which means it's kind of impending doom for a couple more gates to get thrown down, and we see some Zealot pressure out on the map.
Impending doom indeed. MaSsan's got his 2 overlords positioned in some really decent locations here to scout out what exactly is going down on the field. And Puck's going to just drop that robotics facility inside the main base. I'm curious to see if this pylon location to the lower south portion of his base is going to be where he places his gateways, but I'm assuming they're coming soon.
Yeah, and there they are. 3 beautiful gateways. We'll see if he goes for more than that. I mean, there's kind of some classifications for a Protoss player. If you have... Okay, well, he's going to put down more. If you've got 4 gates on the field off 2 bases, you can apply some pretty decent pressure. If you go for 5 gates or even 7 gates, you can still... You're borderlining between all of that pressure. If you go as high as 8, though, you're going for broke. But Pac with the Robo facility coming down, not going to go for that broke. In fact, getting a Twilight Council behind all of this.
I'm curious to see if that's going to be for +2 weapons upgrades, or he's going to try to deviate with his tech here.
Certainly Blink. It's Puck. If it was any other player, I would agree with you on the maybe, but it's Puck, and if it's anything other than Blink, then I don't know this player as well as I think I do.
Right, well, Puck's doing a great job here eliminating the Overlord from the eastern side of the map, northeastern side of the map, and with that, he's going to actually carve himself a path for this warp gate, or this, pardon me, warp prism. Almost called it a shuttle there for a second, but...
It's like almost BM. Like, I know that's LOL, but that looks like a dude dancing to me, I'm gonna be honest. Like, just waving his arms up and down.
See that?
Wacky, wild, inflatable arm guy.
That is a good reference, Rifkin.
It's a good show, Doom. But alright, Blink is coming out here for Puck. I was kind of sitting there like, do I have to eat my hat? Do I have to eat my hat? But Puck and Arthur are the 2 Protoss players in Starcraft 2 that constantly, regularly compete in the North American scene that I would easily say have some of the best Blink micro I've ever witnessed.
And he's going to attack +2 ground weapons onto that as well, getting Immortals back at home. This is looking pretty nice here.
4 Zealots in this Warp Prism. This 3rd base from MaSsan. The Hydra Den just came up here, maybe expecting that Warp Prism or something to go to the main. I mean, MaSsan does do buildings off to the side. This is a little awkward, but it's nothing too crazy for him. But it's going to be really unfortunate, and that much is for certain.
Yeah, no static defense here to defend against this. Look at this unit count. He's only got 2 Lings on the field.
Yeah, Roaches are coming out. He's going for tech. And this is the problem when you delay gas like this. You just don't have what you need to defend something like this. Now, honestly, I wouldn't have paired the warp. Like, when I said Zealot pressure was coming, I wasn't expecting out of a Warp Prism. But hey, it's working, Doom.
Yeah, it's working, and MaSsan's got nothing. He's literally got nothing to defend this. Okay, 4 Roaches just going to pop out in here. 9 Hydras are in production.
Look at that. He hold positions with the drones so he can keep the Roach alive instead of having to kite with it. Although I think kiting with it might have been a little bit more of an effective choice.
Yeah, just run the drones out of there. I mean, he's got that 4th base up that's now being pelted away by this Mothership Core, but...
Yeah, the Hydras are exactly what he needs. They are so good at dealing with not only air units, but also gateway ground units. There's nothing that comes out of the gateway that says, hey, I enjoy engaging a Hydralisk.
That is quite true indeed. There's tiers of stature and posture on the field that they're able to... Rifkin, look at Puck's main base. He's got no 3rd Nexus, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gateways. He's going to go for the throw.
I think he's really happy with the way that initial attack went, too. I mean, it just did so much damage. It didn't kill the hatchery. It didn't kill a lot of drones. In fact, I think, what, 10 killed? 17, my bad. Okay, so it did do a little bit more damage than I thought it had, but still, 17 workers going to be enough to solidify this all-in push, and yeah, with the Immortals here, those Roaches,
The sentries have full energy, Rifkin.
There's going to be so many force fields. There's no way for these Hydras to really connect. Now, they do have the Group Spines. He's got that much going for him. But melee upgrades, Doom, Not going to pay any dividends here at all. Not many Lings on the field. A lot of Hydralisks that have no weapon upgrades.
Oh, MaSsan's still in this one. He's still got his 3 bases to Puck's 2. Puck is pretty much exactly all in at this stage of the game. Overlords have solidified that fact to some degree here. And
Yeah,
really,
no third,
what
no
MaSsan's
fourth.
got to do, if he just puts up some spine crawlers, maybe defends back here, I think
get a big wall
maybe
up.
just defend, yeah.
That's a great way to deal with the Sentry push. But unfortunately, it's not the Sentry Immortals. It's this massive stock account that have Blink. And guys,
Yeah.
you're going to see Puck do like AI level micro when it comes to Blink. He's just so good at picking one out at a time. But he might not even need to do intense micro because look at this. It's so many force fields, Doom. This is going to be absurd.
He hasn't been touched all game. Economy-wise, army-wise, here comes the big engagement. That is a lot of force fields indeed,
And
Rifkin.
it keeps most of the Hydras out of the fight. They're trying to funnel in here through the front, but MaSsan just doesn't have the numbers for this. The concave doesn't exist. The force fields are making sure of that. And it's really not looking good here for MaSsan. He's lost his whole army. Resources lost, looking a little bit devastating. And
This
Puck,
is brutal.
yeah, absolutely brutal, I think is the correct word to describe this. And even then some. The 4th base went down. He's trying to get it reestablished on the other side of the map, but that doesn't matter if he's got no army to support it. And there's that Blink micro. Look how many of these Stalkers are in the red, and they are still alive.
The Immortals went unchecked that entire engagement. They barely lost their shields. One did fall at the end of that engagement, but beyond that, it's looking pretty paltry here for MaSsan on that. 45 drones to Puck's 53 SCVs. He's down to 2 bases and a very small army with inferior upgrades to Puck.
You go for the +2 melee upgrades. I'm still a little curious on this choice. I mean, if his goal was to go for the late game, get ultras out, go for something that involved melee, sure. But he's relying so heavily on Hydras and Roaches, and he's got no upgrades to support them, Doom.
Comes the final blow. Sad face from MaSsan, and a GG, well played. Puck's going to take the 2nd game for Reformed League of Friendship and bring them 1 match away from just being safe tonight. This is not
it's
how I
up to
expected this to
kaitlyn.
go initially, Rifkin.
It's up to kaitlyn, Doom. It all comes down to her. This could be over in an instant, or she might bring them back from the brink of defeat. We'll have to wait and see. All right, welcome back one more time. Hopefully for not the last time, though. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Survivor Week 4 Immunity Challenge, a best-of-5 all-kill series. Well, I guess not really all-kill, but best-of-5, probably a good way to describe it. Either way, League of Friendship, sorry, Reformed League of Friendship, player spotted here in the upper left corner of the map. Playing for Infinity 7, it is TubbyTheFat.
And his opponent from the Quantum Academy, she is the Cyan Zerg player, kaitlyn.
And it is really on kaitlyn's shoulders at this point, because first off, she is the captain of her team. She elected herself to go twice. If she wins this game, and let's cross our fingers for her, she's got to go against Brent.
Yep, and small technical delays in the first series caused a regame here.
Yeah, to explain real quick, the first game that they played that was going to be the official match, this was the only game that was re-gamed because kaitlyn's keyboard just straight up died and Tubby refused to go for a recover from replay or whatever, so they just completely, they agreed to a regame, and, well, they did a regame, and Tubby's saying, like, look, I don't care what happened in Game 1. We don't even know what happened in Game 1. We didn't get to see that replay, but I guarantee you it probably wasn't this, because it's very ballsy to do that twice in a row.
Yeah, and, just being as the, the series on the line and, having so much
no.
pressure riding on this.
Oh god, kaitlyn, don't
The
go
Overlord
hatchery
stops.
first.
Oh.
Don't go hatchery first.
Oh.
Tubby, classic Bronze League
Oh.
cheese tactics being employed here where you try and get your opponent to talk.
That Overlord stopped as soon as he asked that question, too. And I don't know if she's going to see it.
What really kills me about this, by the way, this is, like, she had checked for proxies in base, but not out of base. So that to me says, like, look, she's prepared, she's played them before, but, oh, there it is.
There we
It's
go.
revealed. I'm trying to
And
play esports.
she's typing right now while there is 2 gateways now in her vision being chrono boosted.
You know, one
First
thing
Zealot is on the field.
I'm a little concerned about right now, she doesn't have 17 workers mining in her main. The saturation's not up to kaitlyn's standards. No wonder you want to do this.
Well,
Hacker, map hacks have been called, they have been declared. This hatchery will certainly go down. Second, Zealot. For Tubby, this is kind of a good and a bad thing. One, when you proxy gateways, you want to stock up your Zealots. You never want to send them in early. But because it was revealed, he's kind of left with no choice. And sadly, Kaitlyn doesn't have Lings out in the field. She can't run past these Zealots and go offensive because that's what you want to do. You know your opponent has no workers on the field, so you punish them with 6 Lings. Now a great hold position in front of the Spine Crawler, but that's not going to do it. Another one's trying to come down behind this Doom, but this is over is what this is.
This is the meat grinder, Rifkin. Hope you like drone sausage. There's gonna be no barbecue today, just raw, bloody drones and Lings dying on the field. There's no other way to describe it. Hatchery is just about to fall to that one Zealot.
No cancel either. For you, Rifkin. Man, I want to touch on that for a second before we get out of this game. I've been playing with TubbyTheFat on Hearthstone for funsies, and this guy has such a lame rogue deck. No skill involved, TubbyTheFat. My words to you. But that's going to be it for this series. A 3-0 for the League of Friendship. Means Tafarkrat's Doom will certainly be going to Tribal Council.
Yeah, someone's going to leave this game. There's no avoiding that. That is the only certainty week in and week out. And Reformed Tafarkrats, I don't know if they dug their own grave here, but they're certainly going to be feeling the repercussions of that in just a few moments.